Alright, hello and welcome back. I hope everyone is safe. Well, it's been a while since I have tested two characters, and well, for this case, since we have since the original Lucia clone died, well, her memories technically got deleted. Well, I decided to compare her with Alpha, since currently they are the biggest rivals in the game. And well, performance. Speaking in terms of performance, they are actually both really good structures to use. And well, I'll start with Alpha. So aesthetically, you can definitely notice a major difference between these two characters. Alpha's looking a little bit different than compared to the clone Lucia. Although it is important to note that the clone is made according to the original, and this is the original. So really interesting how she changed. But that's her physical appearance, a really nice and well detailed character. And of course, you can see the memories that I use and the weapon. These memories are going to be pretty much the same memories are going to be used on the B rank Lucia as well, because they work actually really well on her, since she is also 80% physical and 20% elemental, while Alpha is pure physical. Pure physical. Alright, well. And well, jumping on the B rank Lucia. This is, by the way, one of the costumes that I did get. I think it was a beta test gift. She looks really nice, really good. Looks really good on her. And well, in this time I'll use this outfit because I think it also looks really nice. And of course, there you can see the memories. Again, they are pretty much almost the same as on Alpha. Memory number 3 and 6 are used for fire elemental damage, and because she is 80% physical and 20% fire, I want to use that 20% fire damage to maximize the potential of the character. And of course, it will be time to jump in actual combat. Well then, I will start with the physical Warzone because they are both mostly physical damage dealers, and well, it will be really interesting to see what's the score difference between these two. Now I think this is either the highest or the second highest Warzone in the game. I don't know how they call it, but I think it's either Red Lotus or Hero. I think it's actually Hero. Yeah, I think it's a Hero level. So it will be really interesting to see how they will work, since apparently Hero Warzone is really difficult. And well, let's see how will Alpha perform. Now, since Alpha is primarily a physical damage dealer, like 100% of her damage comes out in the forms of physical, she will pretty much dominate the physical Warzone and is currently at the moment the highest and the strongest physical damage dealing character in the game. Of course, you can use other physical damage dealers and you can pretty much get around the same score with Alpha. It mostly depends on it mostly depends on the gear, and of course it mostly in 80% of cases depends on how you play. The better you play, the higher the score. And of course, it is really important to know how the characters work, and it is really important to know how to maximize the full damage of all these characters. And well, so far, yeah, my combo got interrupted there, but it's okay. So far, I think I'm doing a good job, but let's see what will happen further on. So okay, 20 seconds left, and this last one is dying pretty quickly. With Alpha, it is like the most basic combo should be evasion plus blue, or 3 blue combined with 3 red, or pretty much 3 orbs of any other color, and then she will enter sword wave mode, and then you can pretty much do those sword waves, which people like a lot, and that's her burst attack, highest burst in the game, and of course her ultimate is also dealing a lot of damage. 188,000 points, not bad. It's actually, I think, really good. I'm pretty much satisfied with the score. Alright, well, let's see how the B rank Lucia will perform here. Pretty much same stage, same enemies, same difficulty, and same Warzone. Everything is pretty much the same. Well, it's so far so good. Now, since she is at the moment A rank, and an Alpha is an S rank, there is that little difference between the ranks, but it is like not too major, but of course there is, and you can expect the high rank to be more effective. and I'm working on getting this character on the S rank and on the double S rank, and then it will be really interesting to see the actual differences between these two characters. But so far she's doing a good job. Now she will be depending on also a form of a burst attack when you combine 3 times 3 red. And of course, when you enter the burst mode, you will have to be really quick, and of course, you have to time your attacks really precisely, or you might miss the window of opportunity to deliver the damage that this character can do. Her ultimate is also really nice area effect, and also one of the better looking ultimates in game. Her ultimate looks really nice, and I like it. And so far, it's good. It is strong. It can be, of course, stronger if I have her on higher ranks. But so far, she's doing a good job, and I'm pretty much satisfied with her performance in this Warzone. I think so far she is doing a really good job at taking these enemies out for A class, that is. And if you're aiming just to clear the stage, you can absolutely clear the stage with this character without a problem. And of course, if you invest time in her, you can also get the character on a to be competitive in terms of she can be pretty much shoulder to shoulder with Alpha. Well then, that was interesting. Let's see the score. I expect around 100,000 points, but let's see. Maybe I am too harsh. Well, 135,000 points, but that's not too bad actually. That's not too bad for an A-class character. Keep in mind, she is an A-class, Alpha and S-class. Big difference, but at the same time not that much, but still a difference. So keep that in mind. That's a really good score for that character. Well, now on a neutral round. This is the ice map. The ice, pretty much one of the better looking Warzone maps. One of my favorites. And here, both of them are going to be pretty much neutral, since this map favors ice damage dealers, Raven, and characters that also have ice damage, and our ice elementals will benefit from this map. But Alpha and the Lucia are pretty much going to be neutral here, and well, this will show pretty much a more accurate score difference, because both of them are going to be neutral compared to the enemies, and here the brute power will be measured. Well then, and of course it depends on how I play. The better I play, the better scores are going to be on both of these characters. Well then, so far so good. 1 minute left, 393 combo. This character pretty much will shred everything in her path, and you will not have any problems with the character. Now, one major thing that will divide them and that will kind of separate them, both of these characters are tough to play in terms of they can be difficult to control and they are really fragile. Alpha, on the other hand, is more fragile than the Lucia, while the Lucia is more tanky and she can actually take some hits, which I think is a really nice balance between these two structures. And of course, keep in mind, Lucia is also the first structure that you will get in game when you start to play, and as such a character, she does also bring a bit of a challenge, since she requires a lot of perfect timings. Alpha, on the other hand, you just have to match 1 evasion plus 1 blue, or 3 blue plus any other orb, and of course 1 evasion plus blue plus any other 3 orb will also do the job just fine with this character. Well then, let's see the score. Score is 121,000 points. Pretty okay. Pretty okay. Not too bad. Could be better, of course, but it's not too bad. I'm pretty much satisfied with that score. Well then, time to hop on the Lucia. Let's see how she will take out these enemies and how she will complete this stage. I would say around. I also expect around 100,000 points, but again, we will see. Now, also differences between these two characters is their evasion. The evasion on Alpha feels a lot more fluent than the evasion on the Lucia. That's pretty much my, pretty much one of the things that I noticed. And usually when I get hit with this character, it is because I expect the evasion to be exactly the same as with the evasion with Alpha. And well, they have their small differences, so keep that in mind. It takes some getting used to, of course, so it's not a big problem, but keep in mind it will be important. And so far, I think, well, I'm pretty much satisfied with the score. If I were to be completely honest, I expect around the same score because they are neutral. Now I would use the 5-star Sirius sword, but Sirius is at the moment kind of weaker than this weapon because it's not affixed. So you should also keep that in mind. That's why I'm not using Sirius. It is a 6-star weapon. Pretty much good for collections, but nothing more than that. But overall, it looks nice and its effects are really nice. Well, 30 seconds left on the timer there, and so far so good. This character did prove to be reliable in other stages besides the physical as well. And of course, if you're aiming for the cards, you can just use this character, and she will do just fine without a problem. And the last 10 seconds are ongoing. So far, so good. There is no problems at all. Everything went pretty smoothly there. Well then, time to see the score on this character. I'm really curious to see how much she will get. Okay, well, 94,000. Well, actually, also not a big difference, honestly, not a big difference. Although, if she was an S class, she would do around one. Well, if she was an S class, I think the difference would be 20,000 points max. That requires some testing, I guess. So I'll do that. I'll do that another time when she is on the S class. Well then, on to the boss battles. Now this is where Alpha will definitely shine. Alpha is made for boss battles, and well, she will hack these bosses into pieces without a problem. So of course it's Alpha. It is to be expected, and as such characters, she will wipe the floor with them. As you can see, so far everything is very smooth, and her performance is again top notch for a, well, of course it's top notch. It's the most powerful physical character in the game, and really interesting how the differences are so minor between the B classes and the S classes in this game. I'm really I'm really glad that they did make this game so skill based, because this being competitive in this game is actually fun. Being competitive in this game is actually fun, and combine that with the smooth gameplay that this game delivers, I think it's a really polished and really good game in that perspective. Well then, that was a quick boss battle there. Time to hop on the Nightmare Ball, my still favorite boss in the game, by the way. For this boss, this is pretty much the perfect boss to test out structures. Since here you will test up, you can test besides the structure, you can test also how your lineups and overall builds will work. Since this boss has it all. It's hardcore, it's difficult, it's tricky, it's unpredictable, and it will pretty much test everything that you have to offer with your teams and with your structures, which is really good. Okay, so far so good. Let's wait for it to calm down. Okay, nice. Well then, let's see. Overall, both of these characters will definitely pull you through the game. If you don't want to use the gacha, you can also just use the B ranks. The B ranks are going to be just as good as the S classes. Of course, if you invest some time in them, then they will be even better, of course. And I've seen people use B ranks in the highest difficulty stuff in this game, and yeah, some of them are actually top scorers in the game. They're on top of the leaderboard, which is really interesting. And of course, the arch enemy of Alpha, Rosetta. Well, the Rosetta has a physical weakness. She will take more damage from physical units, and testing physicals on this boss is pretty interesting, and of course really good. And so far, The Rosetta did troll me there, not gonna lie. I did not expect her to jump in the lightning form, but well, she did, so so there we go. My apologies for that. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's be careful here. Now, I like to rotate my teams. I like to rotate my lineup. It is really fun to rotate the teams here, especially since everything is so smooth. And sometimes I can even nail a perfect evasion while I switch structures, which in some cases is really effective, and in some cases will give you extra points actually, which is a really nice thing to have. It will be really interesting to see how the next structures are going to be performing. I'm definitely looking forward to compare the performances over time in this game, since so far these developers do buff everything that's weak and pretty much balance everything out to be in a respectable manner balanced for pretty much for fair play in the game, which is a really good thing. And I definitely am all in for the balancing and to have a form of balanced gameplay and skill-based gameplay in the game. Well, Alpha did shred those bosses really quickly, didn't she? She definitely she wiped them clean off the map. Well then, time to jump in Lucia, and let's see how she will perform in the boss battles. Now she can be good both in boss battles and both in ordinary stages, which is really good. A really good thing to be able to use her in a variety of instances, and of course in a variety of situations, which is what these tests pretty much show. These tests pretty much show the overall general usability and viability of the characters. And so far, I didn't see any structure fail any of my tests, I think. Everyone passed, and all of the structures are really good. None of them is... None of these structures is useless. All of them are good, and every structure has its purpose in the game. Well, Dark Kamui here is having problems with Pilus, yeah? Although this character does require a bit of more practicing, yes, and requires a lot of precision to master her. But overall, in general, she's doing a really good job at everything in the game, from boss battles to event stages, and of course, to challenging content, competitive content. All of the you can pretty much use her in everything, and she will be really good and effective. And of course, like I said, spending some time in gearing her out and racking her up will benefit and will give you a lot more scores and general usability even more. Okay, that was the first boss. Now let's jump on the Nightmare Ball. And well, again, the Nightmare Ball, the perfect test for every structure in the game. And so far she is doing a good job. Really interesting how this character is so good. Now, I don't know in other games. How much the starter characters are actually usable and how are they actually, like, in terms of performance, how good are they? But in this game, the starter characters are definitely really useful, and I think I will do something really funny in one of the next videos. I'll be using just B ranks, and I'll play challenging content, and I'll be looking and I'll be trying to get the highest score possible. I'm really curious to see how much score I can actually push out from the B ranks. It will be really funny if I end up getting more score with the B ranks than with the S and A ranks. That's gonna be very fun. And well, a good and perfect test for the general balance in this game, which so far I do like a lot the balancing in this game, since it makes things a lot more fun when everything is mostly skill-based. And having skill-based content and combat is definitely a big plus for me. Okay, let's see how things will end up here. Oh my god, good. Thankfully there you go, there is the Nightmare Ball, landed just in time. Okay, as you can see, the burst attack, Lucia's burst attack doing so much damage. You can prolong the burst the burst bar after you rank her up, which is not a bad thing to do, since she does do a lot of damage and can be really good in the fire elemental Warzone and stages similar to that. Well, that was a big critical hit. Wiped one full bar clean off the nightmare ball. Well, that was really interesting. Well then, as you could see by this test, these structures, even though they are really separate, really different, they are actually very similar in terms of performance. And of course, the final boss battle, Rosetta. She trolled me the same way that she did troll me in the first run. What the hell? This boss decided to this boss decided to be really hardcore today. Alright, not bad. I will not complain about that. That's actually a good thing. That's actually a good thing. So far, you could see a little too well. There is a difference, of course, mostly due to the rank, but overall, both characters are really good. And whether you decide to go for Alpha or whether you decide to go and stay with the Lucia, both will do the job just fine. And that's pretty much one of the good things. One of the best things in the game is that you can use any other structure that you like, and you can make any structure can be pretty much a DPS in this game. Of course, if you build them that way. And of course, once you master the gameplay of pretty much the majority of structures, you can make even the guards or the tanks a DPS, which is not a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing, since it gives you the option of having skill-based gameplay again. Since not everyone will have all structures, so in some cases people will have to improvise, and in some cases a tank will have to be a DPS in order to carry the team. And having the option to do that is really good. Now, can DPSs be tanks? So that's a good question. Something that I haven't tried out yet. I think they can, but I'm not 100% sure. I will have to test that out. But overall, I'm really satisfied with the differences between these two characters. When I have this character on the S class, it will be really interesting to see how close she can be to Alpha. And well then, this was a really pleasant test to do. I'm really impressed by the amount of balancing and optimization that the developers have put in the game. In my case, I have both of these characters. I use both of these characters. Both of them are really good. And I will definitely improve both of these characters in terms of memories and level and rank, of course. And well, that will be interesting to do. I'm really looking forward for that. Well then, I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you enjoyed. It is, of course, my pleasure to record this and play this for you. And if you and of course, if you want to support me, you can like and subscribe the video. It will help me a lot. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.